Hi everyone, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you are ready to help your kid become a better student. My name is Lynya Floyd. I am the health director at Family Circle magazine, and I am thrilled to be here today with Leslie Josel. She is an organizational expert, she is an author, and she is the founder of Order Out of Chaos. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Oh, I love being here. Thanks for having me.
Excellent. So today we are going to go over some amazing tips that Leslie has that are going to help your kid be more focused, get their homework done faster, and have some fun along the way, right?
100%.
Not all work, work, work.
Right.
Have a little bit of fun.
Absolutely. And we're going to do it a little inexpensively too.
Yes, we are going to come in like under those price points that I know that a lot of parents are concerned about when it comes to back to school time. So let's get started. Yeah, let's absolutely get started with something that is going to completely buck the trend and surprise people.
100%.
What's your first tip?
Okay, so my first tip is that back to school is not all about organizing your stuff. It's also about organizing your time.
Okay.
So I don't know if you have a child like this at home, but I get it all the time from the parents I work with that my child doesn't have a time sense. They don't know how long something takes. So your first purchase when you're shopping for back to school, believe it or not, is an analog clock.
And why is analog so far superior to digital?
So
Talk
funny.
to us.
Okay,
Break it down.
I'm going to convince you all. Now, I don't know about you, but I was raised on analog. But most of our kids today are raised on digital. And the issue with digital is digital gives you one time, and that's the present. It doesn't let you see time move. So for your child to really be able to manage their time, they have to be able to see it.
Okay.
And so with an analog, you can see time begin, time end. You can tell how long something took you. You can even know how long something is still in the process.
Right.
And I want to just note here what I did. I don't know if you can see this. I actually colored in 5 minutes so that if you even have a young student at home, you can even do this with a dry erase and then get rid of it. And it says, okay, when the clock hits that time, you're done and you can take a break, or we need to leave to go on to another activity, let's say. So my big tip, though, is that an analog clock needs to be in every room of the house.
And most importantly, you told me,
the bathroom.
Okay. Why is the bathroom so key?
All right, so we're going to keep this clean, but if you have a teen at home, they tend to spend a lot of time in that bathroom. So I actually have families that have 2 in their bathroom. They keep one in the shower part and one by the sink.
Oh, wow.
So definitely get them. They're not expensive at all. Mine's just big so that you could see it.
I saw online you can get them for $6.
But there should be one in their bedroom, their bathrooms, the kitchen, anywhere that they spend time in, and especially where they do their homework.
And I love this tip because you asked me off the bat, did I have an analog clock in my home, and I did not. And so I wonder if other people don't even have them anymore in their houses.
So drop us a line in the chat and let us know if you actually have an analog clock and where it is. We'd love to know.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So next tip, and this is something that you can do for $2.
Oh, this is easy and not that expensive. So we know that people waste a lot of time looking for things.
Yes.
But especially for students, after they've worked all day in school, they come home, they have this much energy to do this much homework. So I see this a lot, where a student sits down to do homework, they realize they need a pen, they go, and then all of a sudden, what happens? They're gone for 10 minutes, they come back, and they need something else. So when you're back to school shopping, pick up supplies that all of your kids need, and you're going to create what I call a school stuff storage station.
It's a little tongue twister
All
there.
right. Or you can say a box, so you can just call it a box. But here's the point, though. Everyone in your home needs their own, because what an 8-year-old needs is very different than what a 16-year-old needs. So, for example, this one is for a younger student, and they get all the happy, pretty stuff. The elementary school kids get, colored pencils and markers and glue and glitter. We call it, the happy, pretty box.
Yeah.
But let's say you have a 16-year-old at home. They're going to need maybe the protractor, the calculator, the mechanical pencils, even a flash drive. And the other thing I really like to do is I even put snacks in them.
Oh, like that.
Because if we can keep them from getting distracted to get up to get something,
yes,
the better off we're going to be. So I have 3 rules of thumb when you create these. Number 1, make them portable, because your students should not be doing their homework always in the same place.
Okay.
Number 2, make them clear. because most kids, not all kids, what they don't see doesn't exist, right? We hear that a lot from parents. They couldn't find something. And the third thing is it should be labeled. So you can see here,
there we go.
I just put not only a label of what's in it, but also their name so that they can easily find it. And you could either put it on the top. Sometimes I even have parents who put them right in the bottom so the student can't miss it.
Nice.
And my bonus tip is make an extra one to keep in the car. Because how much time do we all spend in the car with our kids? And if they're late at the dentist, this way they can't say to you, I can't get my homework done.
There you go.
There you go.
There you go.
I know, right?
That's a really great one.
Yeah.
And I think everybody can relate to that. We know how much time as adults we waste looking for our keys or remote control or whatever.
Absolutely.
So having everything in one place
Everything
is
in
this
one place.
huge time saver for your kids. They can sit down to their homework, get started, boom,
Right,
go.
they're done.
And no matter where.
Right, and they're not wasting that precious energy to get that work done, which is what I'm concerned about, but definitely one for each child, depending on the age.
All right.
All right?
So another time-oriented tip here. Talk to us about the time timer.
Okay, so I'm a timer girl. You have to know that about me. I have one on my computer. I set it all the time, or I wouldn't have been here today. No, seriously. I need a timer like everybody else. But I want to talk also, before we actually talk about the timer, I want to talk about movement. So you as the health...
Why is that so important? We talked about that
right.
a little bit.
And you as the health editor know, like, we have to move, right? Everybody, it's all about moving our bodies. It's not just anymore for even students. It's for adults, too. So what we know about students, particularly the research shows us that the more we move, the more we lay down learning. So, for example, I'm actually going to talk about my son. When my son was in high school, he was a theater kid, and he used to pace up and down our living room trying to memorize his lines because he couldn't do it sitting.
Yes.
So what we like to do is move kids around as they do their homework. It's more fun and it's game-like.
Yeah.
So one of my favorite things to do is to set up stations around either like your kitchen table or your dining room table. You could do social studies at one seat, math, and so forth. You put the timer in the middle. And what I love about the time timer,
Yeah,
let me show you. Can you see that? Okay. It has this fabulous red disc that, again, kids can see time move. I know I'm a one-note wonder.
No, but that's the key. Being able to see that time move. That doesn't happen when you're dealing with something digital. Being able to see that time move.
You have to see time move because then, again, it allows them to see how much time they have left. So the game-like situation is, let's say they're sitting and they're doing math, and then they set the timer, let's say, for 20 minutes. When the timer goes off, they move to the next station.
That's their cue.
That's their cue to get up and move. And it's brain-related because if your brain is up here doing math, this is kind of what happens to your brain. So we're actually switching subjects. We're not only moving our bodies, we're moving our brains.
Gotcha. So keeping your kids physically engaged, keeping them mentally engaged as they work through their homework.
Right. And now, granted, I wanted to say that this is definitely a little pricey, but you can actually get the app.
Yes.
So for older students who might be working, having an app on their computer might work for them. And then my one other tip about a timer.
You said younger kids should really have
I think they need a physical one because it's portable and they might not be working as much on their computers.
Yeah.
And I also like it for just anything, like if you're trying to get out the door in the morning with your kids or you're trying to switch activities with them. It takes the dialogue out of you and me going, but I don't want to, but you said so, you know, doing that. This way the timer does the talking.
I like that. Displace the blame.
Place the blame.
Put it on the electronic
right.
instead of you.
I used to do that with my kids all the time. Not me. It's what the
love
timer
that.
said.
Exactly. You're done with the video game.
Right.
The timer's timed out.
Timer's timed out, babe. Time to move on.
I like that.
Yeah.
And again, you're making this fun because
Yes.
switching the locations is more engaging and it's a little more exciting.
It's so much
not
more
boring.
It's not
sitting
boring.
In one place
and it
doing the
doesn't
same thing.
and it doesn't exactly, I'm sorry. It doesn't even have to be even at one table. We see a lot of kids who start equating places in their house with where they get things done. So some kids do math at the kitchen table, they'll do English in the den, they'll do science somewhere else. And
that's interesting.
Well, you know what, that movement and that also helps them to engage and initiate.
Okay.
So movement, move your kids. But we see it also even with kids jumping on the trampoline for spelling words, or
wow.
I take kids outside and do math with sidewalk chalk.
Oh, wow.
Fun.
Yeah.
All fun. And that's it. We're trying to, because homework I don't want to say this on camera, but nobody likes homework. That's what I'm going to say. So we need to create some energy around the boring.
Gotcha. So
Right?
whatever game, I mean, you've just
Whatever.
given people a lot of ideas for games that can come out of homework, but whatever
100%.
you come up with on your own, just throw it
Yeah,
in there and mix
just-
things up to make things more fun for your kids. It doesn't have to be sitting in one place, get it
No,
done.
no, the sitting in one place. I know I grew up like that,
Yeah.
where you went into a room by yourself, you sat down, right? If you guys are did that growing up, let us know. But
Yeah.
that is old school. It's the movement.
Got it.
Not for every kid. Some kids need to sit and want to be in, but most kids like that movement to
Got
help
it.
them engage.
Got it. All right.
We have a question from
oh.
Christy.
Okay.
She wants to know if you know the name of your timer and where she can
Yes.
buy it.
So it's called Time Timer, and she can even go on timetimer.com
Yeah.
or Amazon or any of those.
Yep. And you can go to whatever your app store is if you want to get to
Yes.
the app and download that
Right.
as well. Time timer.
Right. And it comes in a million different sizes, so she'll be good. Thank you.
So just a reminder for everyone, I'm Lynya Floyd. I'm the health director at Family Circle Magazine. I'm here with Leslie Josel, who is an organizational expert, and she is the founder of Order Out of Chaos. And she is running down great tips to help your kids be better students, to be more focused when they're doing their homework, and to get that work done faster, and to have fun along the way. And here's a fun one that you came up with.
Yes.
This is our fourth tip. Tell us what
Okay.
it is.
So-
it's $3 or less.
$3 or less, and people ask me all the time, what is my number one organizing supply for students? And believe it or not, it's reinforced paper. So I'm going to say this right off the bat.
Yep.
Regular loose leaf paper I know is very inexpensive. Reinforced paper costs a few dollars more, but you'll actually save money because your papers from your student won't be trailing behind you,
Right.
which is what we see all the time.
Right.
You know, that first day of school, everything's so neat. By the 10th day of school, the binder looks like an abyss hit it because the papers are just falling out. So you are going to be my tester today. So here's what I did to show Lynya that I know what I'm talking about. I actually brought regular loose leaf paper. You can see, I'm going to hold it up. So it says regular. So you know that we're not cheating here. And then if you flip it, we've got the reinforced. So I want you to, you can pull.
Regular.
Just pull the regular out and see how easy it is to tear.
Regular, we're gonna
Grab
get
one.
I know, I don't want to grab more
Just
than
grab
one.
one.
All right,
See?
so this
super
comes out
easy.
super easy.
Super easy. And now what I want to just show everyone is what
The
you're looking for
reinforced.
is the paper with the coating down the side.
I can already kind of feel,
You feel
a bit
it?
of the difference.
All right,
yeah.
you did a little bit, but it's
Yeah.
harder, right?
It's a lot
much
harder.
Much harder to get out. So
And
my
it's worth it. It goes back to what we were talking about when it comes to kids losing things and wasting time.
Wasting
really,
time.
Searching for things. You don't want that.
right, and I don't know if you guys all remember this too growing up, but those little white discs that you
I
put.
totally
Oh God,
remember those.
no,
I
get rid of
totally
those. Oh no, I can't. They would like fall out and they'd stick to everything else. They're a hot mess.
This is so much easier.
This is what you need.
And it sounds like
Reinforced
it's
paper.
really worth it.
Worth it and a few bucks.
Yeah.
So definitely reinforced paper.
Now, here's another tip. Here's another tip that you had. When it comes to getting your kids organized, and this is actually something that parents could steal, adults can steal a page from this book. So tell us about grid scheduling versus to-do lists.
Okay.
And why that's important.
So I'm actually going to talk about adults first because I
like
always
that.
think that no, but I'll tell you why. I think when adults understand it, it's
Yeah.
easier then to relay it and understand it for a student. So the crux of time management is basically taking your to-do list and your appointments and merging them together. The question isn't always what do I need to do, but more importantly, when do I have time to get it done?
Yeah.
Planning.
Yeah.
It's really what it's about. It's about planning.
And a lot of people, I think, just stop at the to-do list.
Exactly.
And it's
It's-
never ending.
it's never
to-do
ending.
list, and it doesn't get merged at all with that calendar.
Right. So we see that with students now. We know that a lot of stuff is online now, but for those students that use an academic planner, and again, I'm a planner girl, so you're learning all about me. I'm a timer girl, I'm a planner girl, I'm a paper planner girl. And if you go shopping for a planner, you basically see two styles. This is the style that I do not like because what it is, it's a to-do style planner. It's one of those typical planners that have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on one side and Thursday, Friday on the other. But here's the problem with it. Your child has an English test on Friday or an English paper due. There's nowhere anywhere for them to see their time. They can't figure out when they're going to get it done. So
Right.
this really, to me, is more of a to-do list. There's no planning involved.
Right.
But these types of planners, and this planner, if someone asks, is from our company
Yes.
order.
And how much is this?
This is $18.99.
18. Okay.
And what we love about this and how we designed it, if you can see, is that we have the after-school schedule here. So we've coupled it with having their homework and what they have done, but also a place to write after-school activities, weekend commitments. So as an example, this student has science, has a lab due Wednesday. They can actually see what they have after school and be able to say, oh, my Monday is super, super busy.
Yeah.
I got to get this done on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And that's really what time management is about.
Right. What fits and
What fits
doesn't.
and when are you going to get it done?
Right.
So if you at home are asking your students, like, what do you have for school today? What homework? That's a great question. But even the better question is, when do you have time to get it done?
Right.
That's the real question.
It's not just what, it's when.
It's when.
Okay.
So
All right. And then next up, you're going to tell us about why index cards are out and apps like this, like Quizlet, are in.
okay, so I'm thinking most of you at home actually do know what Quizlet is, because Quizlet is a great online educational tool. And this to me was astounding. 40 million users monthly, which means kids all over the world are using it.
I think there are probably adults using this.
Probably,
mean-
but it's a study tool. So here's what we say about studying. So believe it or not, when you read something, it's actually a very passive activity. So the more you can engage all your senses, seeing it, saying it, hearing it, doing it, the more you're going to lay down that learning. So what Quizlet does, it allows you to create flashcards and study guides. You can print them, you can chat with friends about them. It speaks to you. It does all of this wonderful interactiveness, I don't know if that's even a word, to allow your student to engage more of their brain to actually learn the information. My favorite thing about it is that you can actually form private groups. So if you have a student who's taking, let's say, AP History, they can all join a private group, share their index cards, and again, study together. And that also helps your child study, that body doubling, that being with other people.
Yeah. So the social aspect of
It's
it,
fantastic.
You say is fantastic.
Fantastic. I love it.
Anytime, anywhere. You're not going to lose your
Not
flashcards.
gonna lose it.
And also, you can actually see other people's flashcards, which is what I discovered looking at this. And so you actually have a bit of a head start.
100%. So I'm going to call my son out. My son basically said to me when we were chatting about Quizlet, how do you think I passed AP History?
Yeah.
I looked at everybody else's cards.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it is. It really,
jumpstart.
100%, 100%. So I love that app.
Awesome. All right. And
Okay.
next up.
It's a little big, but I think we can do
But we're
but
gonna,
we're gonna
but
do
we
it.
want to show it to you because it's really important.
It's really important. Okay, so let's turn it around.
We're gonna turn
So
this way.
here's what this is. First of all, if you buy one at home or make one at home, it does not need to be this big. They sell boards that are half this size, but that's what we brought today. So what this actually is, if you're going to the store, is a 3-sided presentation board. It's very inexpensive. But what we use it for actually is a privacy shield. So let me explain. Most kids, again, not all, going up to their rooms to sit by themselves is very distracting. There are lots of kids that need to be out of their rooms to get work done. Some kids actually need the hubbub of the house. They need you, like I know, we'd love to know if you have a child like this who, if you're in your den or your kitchen, kind of comes to find you so that they can work right by you. So let us know if you have a student like that. But we have older students who do need that, but don't want to feel like they're in a fishbowl.
Right.
So we make these privacy shields as almost like portable offices for them. They can sit out in the open, get the benefits of being
In the mix,
with
family,
the
at
noise
dining
and all
room
that,
table or
exactly,
wherever.
but not feel like all eyes are on them.
Yeah.
So what we did here is we just put, oops, sorry.
That's okay, we're still up.
If you can see it, we put these are cute little whiteboards that they can put notes,
Little notes on it.
pockets from Post-it, they can put papers there. But I want to actually give a shout out to the September issue of Family Circle magazine. If you
Yes,
have
check it
not
out.
gotten your issue, you got to get it, because they did an awesome article on homework stations. And there is seriously a fantastic photo of a privacy shield, like in action.
To give you more ideas.
It's amazing. So get your September issue.
All right.
Okay.
And last but not least, these are the cheat sheets you want your kid to have.
Yes.
Tell us about that.
And they're free.
And they're free.
And they're free, other than the page protectors. So here's what I see a lot in my work. I always say the devil is in the details. So you let us know if you have a kid like that at home, meaning you might have a kid who can sit down and write an awesome paper, but he doesn't read the details that the paper needed to be 12-point font or double space, Times New Roman. I don't know what that's about.
And by 8 a.m.
Exactly, on Turnitin.com. Exactly. So unfortunately what happens is they lose the points. And that just doesn't feel good. So what we try to do is we cubby-size information. So we take those details out of, let's say, rubrics or paragraphs, and we create what I call cheat sheets. So this is one, for an example, for an English paper that might be for an older student, and it even says 12-point font, Times New Roman, correct citation punctuation. And they keep this in their binder so that they can always see it and always refer to it.
They can be more elaborate, though, right?
100% they can be more elaborate, but we don't want to overwhelm them with information. Remember,
okay.
we're cubby sizing. We're only taking the most salient points because we don't want to trade one for the other.
Gotcha.
So this is one we made for a theater kid, again, who had a theater class. He needed to write a review on shows, and he had to staple his playbill and ticket to his paper, not necessarily remembering that. So here was his cue to always remember to do that. So, and then
And I like how you say that. It's helping them remember to
remember always. It's visual cues, because most kids are very visual. Not all, but most. So this gives them a prompt. This gives them something else that they don't have to rely on this.
Yeah.
They can rely on this.
Yeah. Excellent.
Okay.
All right.
Wonderful.
Well, these were the 8 inexpensive tips that we had. They will hopefully help your kids be better students. Thank you so much, Leslie,
Oh, this
for
was
sharing
fun.
them with everybody who's tuned in. Please leave a comment. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you have great inexpensive tips that you want to share. And tune in next time for our next Facebook Live. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.